Spirit of the North podcast. We are back live on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is January 19th, 2025. Man, year is flying by. I'm your host, Casey Blueford, joined by my co-host, Mr. Derek Murray. D, what's up, bro? What's poppin'?
Hey man, shout out to those who use TikTok. President Trump saves the day, right?
Is it back? I thought is it back?
He brought it back.
Oh, hey. He know what he doing. The day before the inauguration, he brought it back real quick. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok gonna go crazy tomorrow. It's going crazy tomorrow. So, for those that don't know, that may listen down the road, we are a day away from our 2025 presidential inauguration, which is big deal. President Trump's second election. TikTok was banned from the U.S. for at least a day, and I believe now it's back per Derek. So it's about to go crazy tomorrow. But yo, man, let's talk some. Actually, before we get to hoops, so we got a lot going right now. We got college football playoffs right now. We have NFL playoffs right now. We have NBA pretty much at the halfway mark, almost at the midseason. We got the NCAA basketball, men and women, starting to pick up a little bit, starting to ramp up towards March. So if you are a sports fan, like this is the time. This is the time to watch. So as we speak, man, it's Eagles and Rams as we speak, football right now. So, but let's talk some hoop. Let's talk some hoop. So we are halfway through the NBA season. I feel like we just talked just a few weeks ago. The season had just started. So
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
but let's get some initial thoughts on just just overall thoughts. What are your thoughts on the season? The reason I asked is there's been a lot of conversation. The league is boring now. There's too many threes. Games don't matter. So before we kind of dive into some things, what are some overall thoughts for the season? How you feeling?
Man, honestly, I think my take still stands very strong in that before Christmas, the NBA is boring. The stakes are low. And now that we're past Christmas and we're starting to get closer to the trade deadline, which is interesting. We're starting to see players kind of pick up intensity, which is interesting. And we're starting to see the chaff and the wheat, so to speak, separate. So, you've got teams who we know are contenders, and then we have teams who we know are trying to capture the flag, if you will.
Hey, that's a dope analogy, though. That's like an ESPN headline right there. We might coin that one, capture the flag. So, well, yeah. So here we go. Let's talk about the standings just for a second, because when I look at the standings, I see really, really good at the top, and then I see a lot of just kind of average,
Mediocre.
to at least,
Right.
at best, and then I see teams really tanking. Um, so before we kind of dig into some details, let's talk about the bottom feeder, so to speak. Utah, Washington, Toronto, surprisingly the Pelicans, Portland. Um, who's that?
Brooklyn, Charlotte.
Brooklyn and Charlotte. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the Spurs just because the West is so clunked. But yeah, yo man. Does Cooper Flag save any of these teams? Like
Man,
if you had to assign him a team that we just kind of mentioned as the bottom feeders, all saying that there's no trade, anything like that, like all things being equal, does Flag save any of these teams?
I think Flag creates enough of a buzz around the teams that they at least become more interesting, right?
Okay.
Like much like Wemby and San Antonio, prior to that and post, the old regime, Spurs are kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it a
Yeah,
buck. We
that's
weren't
true.
paying,
Yeah,
we
right.
weren't paying attention to the Spurs, and now,
That's true.
when they're on ESPN, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna watch. So I think if nothing else, Cooper at least creates a box office buzz. Now, whether or not that translates to wins, I doubt. But I think more than anything, that's what these teams are hoping for anyway, is to put butts in seats, basically.
So let's assign them to a team, right? Like so, if you were to pick a team that would be the most either entertaining or that you would like to see him go out of the teams that we just mentioned. So for those that don't know how the NBA draft works is, the bottom teams have a higher percentage of getting the first overall pick, which we assume Cooper Flag will be the first overall pick. It's not like the NFL to where it's automatically the worst record. So it makes it a little bit more interesting in the NBA. So right now, the Washington Wizards would have the highest chance, followed by, say, the Utah Jazz. So based on the teams that we mentioned, what would you like to see Flag? And then I'll give my opinion.
So per my sources, I'm being told that the Brooklyn Nets will make their way to the bottom of the list here soon. They're going to be selling the rest of the players who are relevant, right? They're going to be coming off of Cam Johnson, right? They might even come off Cam Thomas for all I know.
I think Cam Thomas been hooping too.
Yeah, I know, right? Essentially, they're going to come off anybody who makes it difficult for them to actually tank successfully. And my sources tell me that Brooklyn is the team that's going to get Cooper Flag. I put it this way: I hope it's not Washington, and I hope it's not Utah.
You know what? Washington was the one that would make sense to me, and not just because they are the worst record, but because they are the nation's capital. It's a big market. Like, they need a little bit more buzz down there. Now, and to be honest with you, they'd probably be a little exciting with Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, Cooper Flag. Like, he might not want to learn from those two guys on how to be a professional, but, they'd be a little bit entertaining to me. But I'm not going to lie, the Charlotte Hornets would be kind of entertaining too. Would that propel them? Maybe not. So I think they got a lot of bad habits on that team. I don't think that's the best place to go to learn how to play professional basketball. But LaMelo Ball, Cooper Flag, Brandon Miller, could that be the foundation of something? Maybe. But again, they're still in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is not the biggest market.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff going on in North Carolina, so to speak, as far as left side, right side, however you want to kind of look at some things. So
Right.
So, all right. Now that's done, let's talk about. I was just thinking the other day when we talked about when I was looking at like playoff seedings, and it's early to think about playoffs, but I always think about playoffs. Is the NBA the only sport that? Hold on, what's the math on it? Is the NBA the only sport that allows 60% of its league in the playoffs?
Man, that's what it is. I didn't even think about that. That's
you got to think about 20. No, 66%. You think about it. It's 10 teams.
20.
So 20 divided by 30. So 67% of your league. So like, if you can't make the playoffs in the NBA, you're
trash.
That's suck.
Crazy.
Like,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So let's talk about sleeper teams. So like, let's look at the West first. When we say sleeper teams, we're really just talking about teams that are either higher in the standings than we thought, or teams that are either lower in the standings than we thought. So let's dissect the Western Conference first, as that's the creme de la creme, so to speak. So Western Conference, who would be your sleeper teams right now?
Dallas. I think Dallas is better than a 7 seed. I think they've been a victim of, several injuries and unfortunate circumstances. And, let's be real. Let's talk about it for a second. All right. If you are the Houston Rockets making it to the playoffs for the first time since James Harden, really, right? Do you want to face the Dallas Mavericks in the first round?
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I think OKC is a title contender. I think they're the best team in the league right now. But if you're OKC, do you want to see Dallas in the first round to start your playoff run?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, I would say Dallas right off rip is a sleeper team.
Okay. To me, the Clippers. I think it's one of those that's the team I would want to play in the first round, right? If you like everyone, if the Clippers kind of hang around that 4, 5, 6, kind of give me them all day. Give me them all day, because the Clippers, to me, I feel like we've seen this before, not necessarily with this team, but with just James Harden in general. I know Kawhi's back now, but Do you trust him to be there come playoffs? I don't, right? I don't expect him to be there come playoffs. So this is going to be a James Harden led Clipper team in the playoffs. We've seen this narrative before. If I'm Denver, I want that. I think I might want that. You kind of want the 3 seed because you kind of want to avoid OKC in the second round,
Right.
possibly. But if I'm a team like the Lakers, if I'm a team like Minnesota, if they can creep up, even say Memphis slips, I'm good with the Clippers in the first round because I feel like for my franchise, getting out of the first round, that would be a win. Obviously, the Lakers are a little bit different. Lakers are more title or bust. But Lakers, it'd be nice to get out of the first round. If you got OKC in the second round, you feel a little bit more confident getting them in the second round than you would say first round. So, yeah. So the Clippers would be mine. What about let's talk about the Warriors briefly because we talk about them a lot. But really, I want to get into the Phoenix Suns. So Warriors, I feel like my goat's going through it right now. He's stressed out. He's talking to the media crazy. He talking about leaving the franchise worse than he got it. He's what Kendrick say. He's spiraling real fast. Like
Well,
my goat
hey,
losing right now.
he chose the wrong side. I'll tell you that.
He chose the wrong side, and it's all good, man. But anyways, Warriors. Do we even see them making it into the playoffs this year? Which is a crazy conversation, given we talked about they were the 2 seed like a month and a half ago, right? So
right. Man, honestly, no. Honestly,
yeah.
no, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they're better than the Kings. I don't think they're better than Minnesota or Dallas, to be quite frank with you. And
Man,
in the position that they're in, it's not like we're not saying like, they're not better in a 7-game series.
Right.
Because they're the number 10. I'm saying I don't think that they could win a one-off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they can win in a single game elimination against any of these teams.
Yeah.
So
no, I am. Now I think hold on 1 second, D. Hold on.
Yep.
No, wife just messaged me, said Jalen Hurts got hurt. So he
Oh
can't
no.
run. He can't run.
No.
Sorry, mid pod, we're talking football. But anyway, but no, man, it sucks because I agree with you. But I feel like the NBA, I feel like the playoffs with Steph is not the same though.
It's time. It's time, Case.
I know. Would I even want to see this team in the playoffs currently constructed? No. I don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see my dude going out like that. So, all right, but let's hit on the Phoenix Suns. I've seen some reports. I've seen some rumors. A KD trade back to Golden State. Okay. Is that a fairy tale? Probably. But if you're the Suns, you're at 21-21. Bradley Beal's not even in the huddles no more. Brad Beal coming off the bench. I know KD had a big night last night, but what's going on with the Phoenix Suns, man? Why are they so bad?
Man, to be honest, man, Devin Booker doesn't look that good this season. Devin Booker doesn't look that good this season, man. I'm pulling up the stats, man. Pulling up the stats right now, man.
Hold on real quick. Do you think he's fatigued from the summer?
It could be. I mean, put it this way. All right. He is averaging very respectable, points per game numbers at 25.8 points per game. Assist numbers are also very respectable for a guard, or for a 2, I should say. 6.7. So he's averaging 26 and 7. And when I say he's not hooping that well this season, I may sound crazy, but when you watch him play, it doesn't seem like he is 1A or 1B on the squad on a consistent basis, if that makes sense. It seems like there are nights where he's not even really engaged. You know what I'm saying? And you're relying on Kevin Durant to kind of carry the load, and Kevin Durant is 37. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I hear you on that one.
So in my view, I just feel like, and it could be fatigue from the summer, but Devin Booker doesn't seem to have the same. He's not in the. I mean, Devin Booker quiet as kept, should be in MVP talks,
Does he
right?
look
In order for
He look distracted. Does he look distracted? Maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it
Okay.
is, but he's
Okay.
not playing at the level that I think the standard is for him.
Right. Yeah, honestly I need to watch this team some more. I haven't really got to watch them too much, so I can't really dive in it with concrete evidence and factual, but I really am surprised to see them down there at 11. But then again, like the West is just so loaded, man. Like, so let's move to the top. Let's move to 1, 2, 3. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to throw the Nuggets in there too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, Memphis. I think someone said Memphis was going to be a top 3 team. I got a lot of pushback, but no. With that being said,
that shows you how whack the West is right now.
I guess the biggest question is: does anybody fear 2 or 3? Does anybody really fear Houston? Does anybody fear Memphis in a 7-game series? My answer to that would be no. If I'm the Lakers, if I'm Dallas, if I'm maybe not the Kings so much because they don't have the reps per se. They don't have but I'm good with any of those teams come playoff time because I know, yes, could they get hot? Yep, for sure. Do they have young legs? Yep. But when it comes down to execution, I feel like I can out execute any of those teams. So I don't think anybody fears Houston or Memphis at all.
I would agree. And like you said earlier, if I'm Denver, I'm looking to leapfrog one of those teams.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That way I could avoid OKC in the second. Basically, I'm trying to ride through the playoffs for as long as possible without facing OKC. Yeah. But even then, I think Denver matches up pretty well against OKC just based on size.
And we're going to talk about the Chet factor here in a little bit, but I don't like that whole Jalen Williams playing the 5 thing. Yeah. If Jokic is your 5, like they say, barbecue chicken. Like
that's food.
That's easy. That's easy
food,
work. So
fam.
Ultimately, I feel like it's OKC's conference to lose. So, all right, let's move over to the East. I don't want to spend too much time on the East because I feel like it's not worth our time to talk too much about the East. I will say that the Orlando Magic, I'm a little bit surprised, have dropped. Granted, they've been injured, but I expect them to kind of make a surgence here within the second half of the season. I expect them to kind of be in that 5-6 range, and I think the Hawks will fall a little bit. The Detroit Pistons, huh?
Before you get into the Detroit Pistons, man, what's going on with your squad?
Which one? What are we talking about?
Boston,
Celtics?
man.
Oh, I'm not worried about them at all. Like honestly,
they look very lax right now.
They are, yeah. They're a la Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
and we right. That's literally. I mean, granted, they haven't had as much success per se,
right?
But does anybody want to play Boston in a 7-game series?
No.
Does Cleveland even want to play them? Probably not. You know what I mean? They know it's going to come down to it, but yeah. So to me, Boston is the Chiefs. That's kind of how I see it. But Pistons, I would love to see them make the playoffs versus like a little play-in game. I think that Miami, Chicago, Atlanta, we know that's going to be the play-in game as it is every year. So I feel like Atlanta, I feel like Trae Young is like the play-in king, bro. Like he's in there every year, him against Zach LaVine or something like that, dude. So, but yeah, honestly, I'm really not surprised by anybody in the East outside of Cleveland like being this dominant. But I'm really not surprised. Does anybody in the East surprise you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Pacers.
As in a good thing or a bad thing? Good or bad?
And a good thing. I mean, the way they started the season, the way the Winter Soldier was looking, right?
He got his arm. He got his arm back from Wakanda.
I thought they were coming back down to earth. You know what I mean? Like I thought last year was looking a little fluky. But they're 24-19. 24-19 in the 5th spot.
Hey, bro, they got the little book like in Winter Soldier. They reading that book. They're reading that book. They reactivated, bro, real quick.
Boxcar. Notebook.
Yeah.
Homeschool.
Oh man, but yeah, they
I mean,
not
he's still not playing up to par. He's only averaging 18 and 9 right now, which is
yeah,
under his average from last couple seasons.
mhm.
But they look better than I thought they were at the beginning of the year.
So So let's real quick. What's their ceiling?
Uh,
Can you see them making
Conference
conference finals
finals.
again this year?
No,
I feel
I
like
would
this
say
year.
second round exit. Second round
Yeah,
exit.
yeah,
Playing spoiler for a more elite team, probably.
yeah. Could they knock off Cleveland if there's injuries? Potentially, right? If
Yeah.
Donnie, is that what happened last year?
If Donnie Mitch
No,
does what
Boston
he
beat them last year.
does,
Yeah, yeah. No, Donnie's always out there in playoffs, bro. Like something always happens. Like, yeah, he's starting to get a little track record with that. So we'll see. All in all, I still think it's Boston's conference to lose. I think it's clearly set up to be Boston, OKC. Apologies, Cleveland. I think you guys will make it far, but I just got the Celtics. Knicks will be fun. Milwaukee will be fun, but ultimately, I don't see them beating them. So let's move over to real quick. Let's talk. What's your biggest storyline thus far? So we went over the teams, went over a couple things. Do you have like a storyline that hey, this season is it Wemby? Is it the emergence of Wemby? Is it the emergence of Shea really kind of taking that next step? What would you say is like your biggest storyline thus far this season?
well, because he doesn't want to give up because he's controlling the media. I've got to say it's Jimmy Butler at this point, right?
Jimmy, yeah,
And you recall at the beginning of the season, I was talking about how the Miami Heat need to, basically come off this man and
hmm
move on. It's taking on a life of its own. I wasn't expecting it to go here. You know what I mean?
it's so messy right now, bro. It's so
Yeah, man.
messy.
He's trolling, as often as he can. I don't know. Was that you that sent the video where he was just non-existent at the
hmm
pregame hype up?
Yep, no mo.
So it's like he don't even want to be. He don't want to be there. He's
Get this
causing.
man up out of there, bro.
Yeah, he's causing dissension in the locker room. But see, honestly though, Case, I feel like trading him would be doing him a service.
They're
If
pouting. He's pouting like
yeah,
kids, right?
I would
So
try to suspend. I would honestly try if I was Pat Riley. I would honestly try to suspend him for the rest of the year or something.
mm,
Like do something to where the NBA PA has to step in
yeah,
because at
yeah.
this point you're basically showing up your master, so to speak, right?
Pat would be the one. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
at some point the league they got to do something, right? Because players, yes, they do control the league, but you can't be out there like I think he was like taking 1 foot shots and stuff, bro. Like he was out
yeah,
there
man.
killing the offense, killing the morale. Like Spo had to yank him immediately. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
it's
crazy,
bad.
dude.
Yeah, I think my storyline would have to be I think it is the emergence of Wembanyama. So I think the fact that granted they're the 12 seed now and they kind of faded a little bit. I just to see his emergence is in second year too is pretty interesting to think that like what will he be come year 4, year 5, year 6, right? If you pair him with the right
Get
people,
this man some help. You know
could
what I
yeah,
mean?
like right, like this Chris Paul stuff. This is a 1 year thing, right? We know that, but like get
Yeah,
this
we
man like
gotta
a legit,
get
get him a
Chris
legit
Paul.
guard. Go get De'Aaron Fox if available this offseason or something like that. Like put your chips in and go get this man some help.
I'll tell you what though, Case, I really like that Stephen Castle kid, man. I like his
Yeah,
game, man. I
yeah,
like his
he
game.
is.
He just needs some XP. He needs some
Yeah,
more XP.
I think they need one vet. Like when I say vet, at least 5, 6, 7 years in the league, right? Like
Why
not
with a
to not
bucket?
yeah, like sound crazy, but like a Devin Booker, right? Like somebody like that in the sense of like,
Mm.
yo, Book, you ain't got to worry about being the man. You just come in and kill, right?
We just
Like,
need buckets from you, basically.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I like
And
that.
I would put some chips in. I think Cam Johnson could be interesting, but I don't think he's to that same caliber.
Yeah, he's not
Um,
changing he's not
yeah,
he would be a great addition, but he's not changing the culture. You're talking about somebody to come in and instantly put them in like a new status, a new
Yeah,
level, basically.
very similar to like what Philly thought Paul George was going to be.
Right,
Right.
right.
That's what I envision them getting. So we'll see how it kind of plays out. But if I'm San Antonio, I'm kind of targeting Book. And
I'm
you
not
know,
mad at that.
if this Phoenix thing kind of gets a little bit ugly, you know, Matt Ishba, was it Ishma? Ishba? He said he's not trading KD, but you know, would he be open to trading Book? Right. You know what I mean? So I don't know who
Right.
Book's agent is, but that's what I'm thinking.
I'm not mad
All
at
right,
that at all.
that down. Let's give some awards out. Let's start off with MVP. Right. So preseason MVP, who we had, and then what midseason who would be. So I'll kick it off. My preseason MVP was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. My midseason award would be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think he's taken that jump and to superstar status. Now he's going to have to do it in the postseason. And to me, they have to get to the finals this year. Even if they don't win it, they have to get to the finals this year because the salary caps at some point that team is going to get real expensive and may lessen his talent. Not too many people are trying to come to OKC, so I feel like they got to get there this year. So, who you got MVP?
Yeah, so man, listen, I knew that Shea was gonna be in contention for it. Obviously, he's one of the top three. I had him in top three, I believe, best players on my list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was under the impression that Luka was gonna have a more sustainable year so far. And so I had him at my preseason MVP, but that is no longer the case. It's
Yeah.
clearing away Shea. As long
Yeah.
as they continue to maintain what they're doing right now, and he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, he should take that home for sure.
Yeah. Let's go rookie of the year. Who would you say is rookie of the year right now?
Man, that's tough. That's tough, just because it's fluctuated so much since the beginning of the season, and I would have said the young bull from Philly would have been in the
McCain,
hunt
but
there.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he's done. He's done for the year. So honestly, man, Sar's been hooping.
So yeah.
He been
I didn't know who the heck he was, but he has been hooping though. He has been hooping.
He's been playing decent this year. I would say either him or Zach Edey are my picks.
Yeah, I mean we talked about this draft class, and it's not the cream of the crop per se.
Yeah,
This might be the worst draft class in the history. So I'd say Sar and Edey would be second. All right, what about coach of the year? I mean, he needs a little bit more games, but could Coach Christie get on up there? No, but coach of the year, who you got thus far?
You got to go with my man in Cleveland. I think he's the way that he's and look, I've heard a lot of comparisons to Golden State post Mark Jackson, right? Same type of deal. JB Bickerstaff absolutely changed the culture of that franchise, and you don't want to overlook that or discredit that. But
Kenny Atkinson is doing his
Kenny Atkinson is doing his thing. He came in and he lit a fire under Mobley, and he also lit a fire under man, I always forget brother's name.
Oh,
Darius Garland.
Yeah.
He lit a fire under Darius Garland. So because of their record and the changes that he seemed to kind of implement, I would have to give him that.
Yeah, I think it's clear cut. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Ime Udoka, like he got Houston.
He got to be in there too. Yeah.
Do they want to give him that right now? Probably not. Like that's not good pub right now.
Yeah.
I think he's on that Will Smith band right now, Brad. To where like
he
can't get that for another
the radar.
Yeah, he can't get nothing for another 3 to 5, right? Will come out in the movie with 5-7 years, and
this is his slave movie right here.
Emancipation. Hey, you ain't never lie though, but yeah. So, but yeah, I think Kenny Atkinson for sure. I think it's clear cut. Defensive player of the year. I think we can both agree. Wemby. Yeah.
Yep.
Wemby.
Yep.
Let me see what else I have. I'm not missing any. Am I missing any awards? Yep, no, I think those are big ones. All right, last one is top moment of the year. Was there
Mm,
one moment, or maybe there's always multiple moments, but was there one moment that like that kind of stood out to you? I'll name a couple to kind of
okay.
kick it off. Clay's first game back in Golden State, that was actually pretty cool. Steph, to see the emotion from Steph, and like he actually got off. It's very rare that he gets at this age he gets hyped for like games, but you could tell he wanted that one. That was pretty cool to see.
Yep.
Um, Not gonna lie, Christmas Day as a whole, those games, those that I enjoyed watching basketball on Christmas Day. Like
I
even
agree
though the
with that.
NFL did their thing, like just like Christmas Day was fun. And then it didn't count, but the John Morant dunk was pretty special.
Yeah, that
Like
was massive.
that was pretty special. Like I think 10 years from now, people won't even remember that didn't count. It's just gonna be like,
Right,
oh,
right,
he got Wimpy,
right. He bapped
right?
on that man. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I would say those are like my main ones from right now. I'm trying to think if there's any other moments.
I would add
Yeah,
one.
what's that?
Bron and Bronny.
Yeah,
Bron and Bronny playing
yeah,
together. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
as
We
much as
joke.
as much as we joke about that, that
That's
was
good.
that
Yeah,
was pretty cool. Yeah, that was a pretty memorable moment for sure.
that for sure was pretty dope. Yeah. So all right. Let's move on to some. Okay, let's move on to some quick takes, and we're going to talk about some things at the end. All right. Let me see if I can pull them up. Share this. Find a couple videos here. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Here we go. All right. We're gonna start off with let me try to find the video.
Paul George, all Paul George do is pod.
That's all he does is pod now, bro. Okay, I can't. Yeah, I thought I had it queued up. Did you see Kyrie kind of get into it OKC the other night?
Nah, I didn't. I saw him cook Caruso from that corner.
Yeah, yeah. So he was getting into it. I guess the player went down, and Caruso kind of walked over and kind of shoved him, and Kyrie's like, "Y'all ain't like that. Y'all ain't tough like that. Like y'all ain't that team." So I wanted to show you because I wanted to kind of get your thoughts and say what would a 7-game series look like with Dallas and OKC. People forget Dallas beat them last year.
That was
So
a hard fought series.
yeah, what would that series look like to you this year?
Man, I mean, I feel like Dallas is set up for success against OKC. I mean, the only thing being is health, right? And the fact that Dallas, quiet as kept, barely scraped by, has me giving OKC the edge. Because if it wasn't for Shea and that foul that he knows he made a
Yeah,
mistake on, right? He knows he shouldn't have went up for that. If it
yeah,
wasn't for that, they would have won that game.
I
They would have
agree.
won that series.
I agree.
But I think it would be another hard fought series, man. And that would be a
Yeah.
lot of star power.
All right, let's look at this one. We got Jordan Poole and Draymond. So asked about the game. Jordan Poole, they played the other night, Wizards and Warriors. I love those guys over there. I love most of those guys over there. Wizards Jordan Poole said, "I'm his former teammates." Draymond responded, "I really am sorry." Will Jordan Poole's career ever be the same? Or will he always be the one that, almost like Steve Kerr-esque, like Michael punched Steve Kerr. That's all people. A lot of people knew Steve Kerr before. Now he's a champion. He's a coach. Yada yada yada. But will Jordan Poole ever be looked at the same?
Man, I'm gonna be real, man. I didn't already forgot about that. I feel like
Okay,
Jordan Poole got to
let's do
let
it.
that go. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was a messed up moment, but we also don't know what he said. Since then, we've also seen he has some weird tendencies as well, some unlikable traits as well. Lightweight has a punchable face. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. So whatever happened, happened. You know what I'm saying? Draymond is trying to move forward. I was just reading an article about how, he's been going to therapy and he's had like, essentially like counseling sessions with several top brass in the NBA. And they've kind of check in on him and make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do for his own mental health and whatnot. I do truly believe that Draymond wishes he could take that moment back, or that the moment didn't get out the way it did. But at the end of the day, man, these things happen. Jordan Poole's got to get over it. Otherwise, we're gonna keep talking about it.
I feel like it will be a part of both of their legacy forever. Put it like that. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we're going to talk a little bit.
He got collapsed too. That was the funny part. He got collapsed.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk a little Hawks and Celtics. Is there a little rivalry here? Little Hawks Celtics. Hawks are the only team.
Jason Tatum trying to prove he's not soft.
All right, Hawks the only team to beat Cleveland twice and the Celtics twice this year. Does that mean anything?
Look at JT. Hold me back. Looking at yo, man. I hate Boston. I can't front, man. I hate Boston.
You hate it like a Meet the Grams type hate? Like look at JT.
I'm about to write a song, A Deuce.
Oh, dear Deuce. Your daddy thought he was him, huh? All right, so Boston. So is there something to the Hawks beating both the Celtics and the Cavs this year?
Yo, I ain't gonna front. The Hawks are decent, man. The Hawks are extremely decent. We talked about it before. Trae Young is, having another solid year. Honestly, yeah. I mean, sure, he foul baits and he doesn't play no dog on defense, but he's also 6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I think Atlanta has a certain level of toughness with their new acquisitions and the ascendance of some of the guys that they've been waiting on. So I think that any series that they engage in is going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out. Now am I saying that they're going to be a championship team? No. But if I'm Boston, that's going to be a hard-fought series.
Especially given the fact that they beat you a couple times during the season. I feel like that.
I can see them getting a couple dubs in the series.
Confidence. All right, let's talk about the last thing I want to talk about before we move on. Kawhi Leonard's back, in case anyone didn't know.
Is he?
But is he? That's the question. No, that was literally going to be my little – but is he, though? Is Kawhi being back, is that a good big thing, little thing? Is there anything to that?
Man, it's not moving the needle for me, man. Okay. It's not moving the needle for me.
Say less. We don't need no more additional conversation to that. That's like, all right, cool. He comes back, then he's out for PTO again, bro. Bro got endless PTO. Like he worked at like Google or something, bro. He got endless.
And that check he's getting is insane.
Yeah. Don't forget about the New Balance check. We got now. We got now. All right. Let's talk Chet real quick because I saw a report the other day. Chet Holmgren will be back in about 3 to 4 weeks. But I think it was 3 to 4 weeks for OKC.
Yo, what's wrong with it? What is his injury, man? I was just thinking about that the other day. Like this dude has been out for like most of the season.
What did he hurt again? A mid-pelvic fracture. He'll be take that back. Sorry. He'll be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. All right.
He's out for another month.
We're putting this topic on pause. I'm thinking he's coming back. So we'll talk about this in 3 or 4 weeks. Let's move on.
Well, real quick, while we're speaking on him, because I do think it's an important conversation. I mean, look, everybody, the narrative is they don't even have Chet. Like that's the conversation, right? But when he does come back, obviously he's going to have to play himself back into shape. They already have chemistry without him. Now, my question is he going to mess up what they got going on right now?
Well, to be fair, we saw what Porzingis did for Boston last year. He was that spark that they needed, that size advantage that they needed. I mean, I still think they would have beat Dallas regardless, but he just kind of added that unstoppableness per se. So maybe Chet will do that, and he could do that. That could be beneficial, because to me, they're not beating Boston in the 7 game without Chet. Not with that lineup, right?
I
Especially with
agree.
Porzingis. Now you get Chet, okay. Like, will they even get out the West without Chet? That'll be
That's a
interesting.
good question. That's a good
That'll be
question.
very interesting because Dallas to me would be a very tough out without Chet, or just not even Chet, just be without a fully constructed team. Because Luka is a playoff god, right? And
Yeah.
he's going to capitalize on any miscue that you have. So, and Kyrie is really him. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about Anthony Edwards. So, play stats, technical fouls. Anthony Edwards leads the NBA with technical fouls. He has 10 technical fouls thus far this season. That is more than Dylan Brooks. That is more than Draymond Green. Isaiah Stewart. What? But he just decided to lose it, bro. Jason Tatum, Jordan Poole. He just tried to get bullied. He's tired of getting bullied. But anywho, is Ant crashing out?
Look, man, I got to be honest with you, man. I've fallen out of love with Anthony Edwards this season, man. I
Oh,
can't lie, man. I can't
oh,
lie.
okay.
As much as he was like this for me, now it's
Yeah,
starting to slowly come back. He's talking way too doggone much, man.
he
He's
is
talking
talking
too
too
much.
much.
He's throwing his teammates under the bus. What he said the other day, yeah, man, we suck as a starting five. We're just not good. It's like, bro, there's a fine line between motivating your team and just
Yeah,
outright throwing them under the bus. And I feel like we've crossed that line a little bit because this is not the first time he said this. He's doing obscene
yeah.
gestures on the sideline, flipping off the crowd. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. Nah,
He got fined. You might want to look that up. He
I
got
did. Okay,
fined.
I did see he got fined. I didn't know what
He
happened though
double birds. Double birds. And it was
during the
like
game.
blatant. Yeah. He was on the bench though. And I think he was doing it to the fans. It didn't look like a player. So I'm
And
just
so here's
like,
the thing.
bro, what's going on? Like, what's
So
going on?
I think he tasted a little bit of success last year, and we knew once they made the Julius Randle move that was the stock was going down per se. So we knew they weren't going to get back to where they were before. I think he tasted success last year, and then had a great Olympics with the team. I think he's frustrated, and also I think he's frustrated, but he also does not have a veteran on that team to really kind of reel him in,
Yeah.
right? Right.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
maybe
Mike
Conley was
Conley.
that, but I think he's been in and out the lineup this year. So like yeah, I think Ant's got to a level where he feels like he's unapproachable, maybe.
He on his
And
Willie Beeman right now.
and he for sure is like that's a great analogy. And I feel like he's crashing out low key. 10 techs, and we're not even at the break yet.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he's
yeah,
wild.
come on, man. Come
No,
on.
I agree. I agree. I think both could be true. I think that Minnesota definitely dropped the ball when it
The
came
team
to
construction. The
they
team construction is horrible.
underestimated the importance of Cat,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
In an effort to avoid a possible contract renegotiation, they made a decision to go away from Cat. But like you said, they didn't bring in someone who complemented Ant's game. Ant
Yeah.
is an interior. He works his way out
Yeah.
basically, and he's
hmm
had to basically reverse that because the guys that they brought in, aside from DiVincenzo, who's finally starting to kind of put it together out there, the other guys are just clogging the paint, so he can't really get in there. You know what I mean? So he's definitely frustrated, and I understand that, but you've got to hold your composure a lot better than what he's doing right now if you want to be, a quote unquote face of the league. And he's just not.
Yeah, he's averaging less than, and to be fair, he really is on the way to be face of the league if he continues. This man's on every commercial. I've seen
Yeah.
him on every commercial, especially during Christmas time. Sprite Christmas commercials. I've seen him on so many commercials, but he's shooting a little less than 10 threes a game. Like I feel like his game is evolving, but I don't feel like it's evolving the correct way at this point. So
Right. And correction, that was a obscene gesture towards a ref. He
even
flipped the
worse,
ref
dude.
off.
Even worse, bro. Like, come on
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Hopefully Ant gets it together. All right, so let's finish up. We have two topics here. First one I want to talk about is LiAngelo Ball. performed at halftime of the NFL playoff game at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. That's a big big stage for LiAngelo Ball. So also just signed the $13 million, $8 million guaranteed deal with Def Jam. Is he going to live up to the hype?
No. Look, man, let's be very clear. All right. Let's be very, very clear here. And I don't want to come off as hate. I don't want it to come off as me downing LiAngelo Ball. I am supportive of this movement. I feel like, all this talk about LeVar Ball being a great dad is great for the cultural zeitgeist, right? You don't normally hear that about black dads. So I feel like the conversation is great. I love it. I love to see them be successful, but at the same time, this isn't some Pulitzer Prize winning song here, okay? This song is lit because it's trendy, because it's aesthetic.
It's so trendy, bro.
You know what I mean? It matches an aesthetic that was already kind of creeping its way in. We are currently in the era where early 2000 stuff is cool, right? Remember when you and I were younger and it was all 80s. Everything was all 80s stuff, right? Everybody wanted to get on that, Jerry curl bag, you know what I'm saying? Putting parts in your hair, having a little shag in the back on some Kanye, you know what I mean? 808s and heartbreak stuff. That was very cool at that time. Now we're to the point where tall tees, headbands, throwback jerseys, AF1s, wristband, unnecessary wristbands. All of that's cool right now, and this fits in that same box.
Wait, are we back to the wristband era again?
I think we're slowly but surely gonna find ourselves back in that era.
Bro, cats would be in class with a wristband and hoop shoes with no game.
With the pants with the NBA patches on there for some reason.
Now niggas shot it during PE with no game. Oh man! All right.
No, I'm seeing kids on that though. Like a lot of the what is it, Gen Z? Like Gen Z doing they're doing videos on some Soldier Boy Tell 'em type stuff. So I think he just fits what's happening right now. But in no way, shape, or form am I ready to believe that he's just going to be some dynamic artist who could perform a stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Def Jam's looking desperate right now.
This is the future, though.
Yo, it might be. Maybe we'll look back and be like, "Yo, Def Jam was smart. They locked him up." But oh no, I'm not feeling it. All right, we have to finish up the pod by talking one Aubrey Drake Graham.
Labry.
Yo,
Labry Drake Graham.
Is this the worst crash out we've ever seen?
Hey, what can I say? He's spiraling.
He's spiraling. The famous actor we once knew is spiraling. Yo, is this the take my ball and I'm going home? No, this is not even that, because this is like I'm bringing my mom and I'm telling on every single one of y'all. And I'm telling on my mom.
He's a Karen. He's on his Karen, basically.
Okay, here's my question for you. Well, not even to the point. Will can Drake overcome this? Put it like that. Can he overcome this?
No. Nope.
Because I'm not gonna say his career will be over per se, right? I think he'll still make music, but I think the draw towards him will never be the same.
He exposed himself, man. He exposed himself. This is Ja Rule level bad. If he would have just gone away, sure. And you know what it is? He wants to make sure that Kendrick can't perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. This is that move. But here's the thing: Kendrick wasn't going to perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl anyway.
He could just do the instrumental, right? Be good.
He made this album, so he didn't have to do that. TV off, he could perform TV off. He could perform Peekaboo. He could perform,
his old songs, right?
And his old joints, exactly. Yeah. So I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
who's to say he can't do Not Like Us to a different beat?
Right, right. Well, like you said, he doesn't have to say the lyrics,
Just
right?
get the band. Dun dun. He can walk out. Dun 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 dun. Everybody already knows what's up, right?
so,
Like,
so that's really what it is. Drake is trying to step on that, but at the same time, instead of suing Kendrick, right, which would have made more sense, we still would have clowned him, but it at least would have made more sense. He's suing his own record label, and like that just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
That's like going to the cops for your mom about your mom and dad who just gave you an allowance, but you telling on them.
Yeah,
Like it's sick, bro. And for someone who's always liked Drake and will forever like the music, right? I think the music, his what's the term? His catalog will always be fire, right? So we can never take that away. I don't like I hate when people say, "Oh, like I can't listen to them anymore." No, you listen to the catalog. The catalog was still fire, right? It's
right.
just now the perception of the artist or future music, it just won't hit the same. But the catalog is always going to be a fire. But
This is the
yeah,
most
it's
un-hip hop thing that you could do, though. I would say.
yeah, it really is. It really is. Like to me, there's no coming back from this full circle, right? Will there be some form of appreciation, and we'll kind of get over it to some degree? Yeah, because we're a society, we're a nation of second chances, right? And we love to give people a second. We love a good comeback story, right? But in this situation, there'll be a comeback story, but the narrative will be a little bit off, right? You're not going to get as many people kind of really backing them anymore.
Nah, you know what, Case? I gotta push back on you there
I
because
think so.
he's going at the wrong. He's made an enemy with the wrong one, and
Yeah.
we've seen this in the past. Anytime, especially a black man goes against the powers that be in any way, shape, or form, or they
Yes.
get too big for their britches and they try to cop something that they're not supposed to cop.
Yeah.
What do? They start coming out the woodworks with evidence that you didn't even know existed. So I feel
Yeah,
like
man.
this is just a precursor, because not only does UMG have infinite bread to go to court with you and win, right? They also probably got dirt on Drake that we don't even know
Everybody.
about. You know what I'm saying?
Yo. I
So I
mean,
just feel like this is he can't come back from this, in my opinion. And in addition to that, the perception of him from the public has also changed.
I mean, I'm sure there's more behind the scenes, but from what I hear, that's kind of what happened with Puff. Puff started messing with the wrong people, started trying to attack the wrong people. Stuff started getting leaked. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying it's gonna be the same type of situation, but like I'm sure Drake's got dirt out there, right? That I'm sure only his record label, or maybe they don't even know, but they will find out.
Right.
Or even if they don't find out, the story is always better than the truth nowadays.
Right. All you got to be. It just takes one woman, account. Right.
Yep.
I was on his boat and he did too much, and then now I start snowballing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So.
I hate it had to be him, man.
Yeah, well, they not like us, right? Them Canadians, they different. But I'll still root for you, Shay. Shay, I'm still rocking with you though.
Although Shay, you better be careful, man. Yeah, these Hoopers got to be careful when they embrace that, man. When they play in Toronto, man, you got to be careful because it looks bad on you. All right.
leave Steph alone, man. All right, John. We appreciate you. Anyone that logs on to listen to this at some point down the road. We're just two dudes who love to talk hoop, love to talk life. D, appreciate you, man. Love you. We'll talk to you soon. Talk to y'all later.
Sir.